This is something that Riley and I were like talking in the kitchen the other day, and this is something that popped into my mind that I haven't talked about on stream, and I feel like I feel like I can honestly, if I wanted to, I can make a whole YouTube. I feel like I should, to be honest. I want to see what the people think in the comments after we let this video go live, live or whatever. But this video is live, but I want to see the comments on the video afterwards about this, if I should make a YouTube video. But when I worked for Starline as a salesman or whatever, I would sell tours on Hollywood Boulevard. And for anyone that doesn't know Starline, I lived in Hollywood my whole life, and I never was like too familiar with Starline and how big they actually were. But Starline is a huge company. Like every popular tourist location in the world, basically, like for example, like Hollywood. As soon as you come to Hollywood Boulevard, there's Starline tours, there's Madame Tussauds, and Madame Tussauds and Starline tours work together like in every fucking country. So you go to New York, there's a Starline tours, there's a Madame Tussauds. You go to like Dubai, there's a fucking Madame Tussauds and a Starline. They're like,
is it in San Francisco too?
It might be in. It's literally everywhere. It's like it's such a huge company. It's like literally ridiculous. And basically, when I worked for Starline, you would go to the street, you would fucking sell shit, and then you would get like, some people would pay cash, so you would keep this envelope of cash. At the end of the day, you would have to walk up these stairs, go to the accountant, and there would be one accountant for the whole Hollywood district, which is like hundreds of employees and like tens of thousands of dollars in sales. Like there's one accountant or whatever, and then we're all supposed to bring our cash to this dude. We give him the cash, he counts the cash, he's like, okay, the cash seems right, and then he gives us like some receipt, and then we go back over, and then we use that receipt to count our commission and shit like that. And then I remember maybe 2-3 months into working for Starline, all of a sudden, one of my bosses, I think his name is Muhammad comes up to me, he's like, Yuri, he's like, I forgot the fucking accountant's name, but he gives me this fucking piece of paper with the accountant's picture on it, and it says like, if you see this guy, do not let on Hollywood Plaza property, like call the cops immediately, with the accountant's picture on it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this about? And I started asking around like to all my Starline employees, like coworkers, I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is everyone looking for the accountant? Like, why is like the police looking for him? And apparently this dude was working Starline, by the way, I'm not sure if the whole like organization is operated this way, but the Hollywood organization is very family oriented, where you notice that everyone who has a higher position in the Hollywood place, they're all like cousins, they're all brothers or sisters, they're all married. You know, it's all nepotism. It's all like they're only giving the best positions to people in their family type shit. Like me as a random person, I'd have to work there for 30 years probably before I get any type of higher level. So it's very crazy. You can make a whole video about that as well, but either way. So I'm like, what the fuck? What happened with this shit? I start asking around. Apparently, this accountant has been working with that Starline company for like 20 plus years. He's been their trusted accountant for all these years. They've gone to Christmas parties. They know each other's families and shit, right?
They're hella close.
They're hella close. This dude apparently one day just like took all the cash that was made that day, and like probably a couple other days, like just took hella money, and just fucking disappeared. And then like they found out immediately the next day he didn't show up to work. He's not picking up his phone. They like start getting worried. They send the cops to his apartment because they know where he lives and shit. And then his apartment's empty. He already cleared out his apartment. And then like that's when they put up the fucking sign saying don't let this guy back or whatever. And then I remember like a couple months later, I hear that this guy did not just like steal like a random like $100,000 and just go to like whatever country he was from. He like over that 20 years was like little by little, like stealing 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000 at a time. And I forgot what the number was, but they said that when he dipped and like went back to wherever he was from, he stole like millions of dollars. And he basically like, if I went back to my village in Russia with even $100,000 cash, I'd live the rest of my life like a fucking king. He went back to fucking his country and with like millions of dollars that he probably already has been sending and depositing, and just went back over there. Isn't that fucking insane?
Damn.
And they had to switch
this is a different story.
That's what I told you. Oh, you were thinking about the money back situation. That was with the new accountant that they replaced him with. I'll talk about that later. I feel like it's too much accountant shit. But I was like, holy crap.
That's like straight up like, and they can make a documentary on
you would expect to hear that in the news, right? You would expect to hear like, you would expect to see like $1 million company, Starline accountant steals millions of like fraudulent blah blah, like
moves to,
dude, exactly,
runs
like
away.
Nothing. There was no media about it. There was literally zero fucking media about it, and he fucking dips.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
And you were hired around that time?
I literally saw him disappear, and then I continued working there after he disappeared. I came there like at the perfect time to see that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow, babe.
And he was older too. He was
That is
like
a crazy story.
he was in his like 50s, 60s. So he was probably like, dude, I don't want to live here no more. He's like, I'm gonna go back to fucking Russia or wherever the hell I'm from, or like and just fucking chill like with my family and shit. Dude.
I'm telling you, you need to write a book or something. 'Cause you have crazy ass stories.
I would like to like get some deeper insight. Like I'd like to fucking talk to like one of my old managers or like just like talk to some more people to see what the hell was going on. But bro, working at Starline, I worked there for a year and a half. I've never seen more shady shit happen in a fucking company. So much shit. I told you, I can go on for like literally hours right now, but basically you work there as a salesman, you can make commission. When I started working there, I met this guy called I forgot his name. It was not Bajorn. I thought it was Bajorn, but it was like some other dude. I met this guy who's been working there for 5 years, and I was like talking to him about my commission and how I'm trying to figure it out. And he told me that he was working there for 5 years. No one ever told him about commission. He wasn't getting paid commission. He brought it up to the managers. Managers realized they weren't paying him commission, and they told him that they owe him like tens of thousands of dollars basically, and they couldn't pay him out. And then he was just like, okay, whatever, fuck. And he was just so cool with
nice
it.
about
And yeah, exactly. They were just like fucking this guy over. Dude, there's so much shit that Starline has done I could talk about. There's this, I want to talk about this in some other future 10 Talks, there's a thing called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Have I told you about that?
In Disneyland? What?
Oh, no.
What is this? Is this like a code?
No.
What?
So, if I had their names, this would make for such a better story. But basically, in Starline, the Hollywood section on Hollywood Boulevard, there's this like one main owner, dude. When I was there, he was like 80 years old, very short and like kind of very old looking, but he would still come to work every day bossing people around. And he had 2 sons. One son was running everything. He was in charge of everything. He was a very productive and like just like he was like a hardworking son. The other dude was like a drug addict, junkie, alcoholic guy that liked to party, and he would also work for Starline because his dad, basically owned it or whatever. And basically, if you if you search up Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, it's going to take you to a TMZ article about how this guy, the son of the owner of Hollywood Starline, he proposed to his dad. He's like, hey dad, he's like, I have an idea for a new Starline attraction. He's like, I'm gonna get this old Cadillac and drive people to the old haunted houses of Hollywood or whatever, right? So he started this. It's like it was his idea was like pretty successful for a while, and he was the driver. He was the dude telling the people like, this is the house in this haunted movie, or 3 people died in this house type shit. And he was doing that for a while, and then one day he picks up a car full of girls. It was like 5 or 6 girls. And then if you read the article, they talk about how when he picked them up, he already seemed intoxicated. And then they said how he like pulled up to some house, and then he was talking about how the guy who lives in that house, he hates him, and he got out and started pissing on his lawn, and then got back into the car, kept driving, and then tried to like and then tried to like touch the girls like breasts or something. Like he tried to like touch the girls inappropriately. The girls were like fighting him off or something like that. And they basically, if you read the story, it's this whole thing about how he was driving drunk, inappropriately touched these girls, pissed in front of them on some dude's lawn, did all this shit, right? And then what's crazy is if you go to the article, there's all these photos attached to it.
Did he go to jail?
No, he went to jail for like a week or 2, got out, didn't work for Starline for a year or 2, and then when I worked for Starline, he was my manager.
Oh my fucking
That's
God.
what I'm saying. Starline is fucking insane, dude.
That
like,
is ridiculous and disgusting.
If you want to...
That's some David Dobrik shit. Straight up. Okay.
Baby,
is that rude?
If you wanna have a laugh, go on Yelp and type in Starline Hollywood and read the fucking reviews. It's fucking ridiculous. You're gonna see the funniest shit. You're gonna hear bus driver threaten me, bus driver flick. You're gonna see so much funny shit, dude. It's crazy. But there's such a big company that like it's like
it doesn't matter.
You really have no other option. Your option is either like choose some shady company, that they might not be telling you truthful facts, or choose Starline, the biggest company in the world. You're more likely gonna choose Starline. It's insane.
That's crazy.
I'm glad I don't work for them anymore, dude.
God.
Dude. Oh my God.
I could not. I feel like I could not even see you working there. I could see you working there. Like, I feel like that could have been a TV show. For real, though. But then again, I can't see you like fully working there for a long time.
Dude,
I feel like you
hated
would
that
fucking
shit.
hate it.
You know how you were Riley's been dealing with this thing recently where her work schedule will say like, you know, till this 4 p.m. or some shit like that. And then randomly they'll be like, "Oh, we want you to stay this extra hour or extra," and it's very consistent where they ask you to stay overtime. Dude, at Starline, you know how I told you we'd have to take this whole kiosk to the middle of the Hollywood Boulevard and stand there at the kiosk? And then if we were scheduled till like 4, for example, and then I was just like, "Hey, I'm supposed to get off," they're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, sorry, this guy didn't come in, and you're the only one who can manage that position. We can't have that kiosk come in early, so you have to stay there till 6." So it's kind of like very
Damn.
consistently you were like, obviously I would not complain because it was overtime, but it's
Yeah.
like you're very consistently put in these positions where they're like, you can't leave, like you have to stay, you know, and you're just like, bruh. Every time it was like shit like that,
So
dude.
you would just mentally prepare yourself for that?
Dude,
Oh, at the other salon I used to work out, we would be, sometimes I was there till like 11:30 at night.
what time would you start?
11 a.m.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it was like nonstop shit.
And
That was like good times though, I guess. Now compared to like what I'm doing.
It's less stress, you think?
No, it was stressful, but now that I'm thinking about it, it was good times because
Your friends were there?
yeah, like it was just like it was like you were working all day, but yeah, you were chilling with your friends and
Yeah, exactly.
having fun. The girl I worked for was just the best. So
I feel like that's when I was just getting into like because I've had like over 7 different jobs and shit, and when I was getting into first applying into jobs, I kind of had this mentality where every time I joined a job, it was like I want to kind of try to stay here and work harder and stuff like that, and I was always kind of
Like grow with
scared.
the company?
Yeah, scared of losing that job, but you kind of have to realize that when you're searching for a job, you also have to like realize that you need to be able to work with your coworkers. If your coworkers are fucking assholes, it's gonna
Exactly.
suck to work there. You're not gonna want to come every day. It's gonna be really cool to come into a place where your coworkers are chill. You're like, all right, that's already fine. Your manager's not that bad. You know, it's like you got to find a place that you like to
Where you
work
fit
at.
in,
Exactly.
yeah.
Don't be scared to be like, hey, sorry, but like this place is not what I expected it to be. You know, and shit like that.
nope, it's not worth it.
I've
I've
never.
always been like that. If I did not like my job at the time, if I was not feeling it, I would straight up just literally look for another job, get the other job, and quit my job.
Really?
My current job.
You know what's funny? You know how
That's what I would do.
they say that the most productive or the best thing to do is like when you have a job that's consistent and you're like, you know, you're doing good at it, but then you see that there might not be room to grow, is like while you have that job, you have to like look for a different one. And I've never done that.
Really?
I've always been in the position
I
where
always was
like,
nope, I have to have
I'll,
something.
I'll stick
already.
with the job and then something will happen. I'll be like, oh my God, I need another job. And then like I'm never the dude to plan ahead with the job thing.
That's
Kind of
what my
bad.
dad always told me.
Plan to
'Cause-
start looking for more
Yeah,
better paying
just-
ones.
Exactly, just because you want to have something. If, like, it's better to have a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm, exactly.
Sorry, I'm a little late right now.
Speaking of lit, we have to take one more shot.
I know.